Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch the Movie. I am Mike, and this is another Scream update for you, and it's a fun one as well. Tons of updates coming out with Scream. I think the last video that we did before the live stream the other night was also a Scream video. Happy Memorial Day. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you're not going to cook out, I hope you have a hot fudge sundae and a children's play pool outside on your back deck. Live your life. Make yourself happy. Do whatever happens. Hope you guys have an awesome day. And yeah, so Scream update news comes from Daniel Rickman, who's a Hollywood insider who sometimes puts scoops on his Patreon. And I feel like a broken record saying this, but you guys in the Scream franchise are deluged with so much fake news and rumors discussed as truth and whatnot that I do feel the need to say it. We usually don't report on stuff that's just a rumor or whatnot, but Daniel Rickman is the real deal. He's for sure. So this is not 100% confirmed. It's not official news. But again, when it comes from him, I trust it. And there's not a lot of places that I trust. But speaking of which, wearing those boxers with a slit in the front of them, because if your zipper's down, your thingy can just fall out and you could just be walking around with your thingy out, which is why I always do the briefs now. I don't like the little front door. What I'm trying to say is this. The news story is, and it's a crazy one when you think about it. He says, and I'm just going to read it to you verbatim, Scream 7 will have a big time jump for them to have Sid's kids play a role. Also, at least part of the movie will be set in a new town. It doesn't say where. Grid also mentions this is a first chapter in a planned new trilogy. Now, I asked what Grid was. I found out it means casting grid. I still don't know what that means, but I imagine that it's casting information that unveiled some information about the movie. But there's three big things here. Number one, the time jump. Given the fact that this is going to be a new trilogy and that we're doing a time jump to make the kids older, the first thought I have is one of them kids is going to fucking die. Wrong kid died, like Dewey when it should have been Gale. I think one of those kids might be killed. They could be saying that, or there's a reason they need these kids to be older. What is it? Because, they're not going to... I think the franchise would have a tough time maybe, having like a small, younger child killed. And if you look back at Scream 5, she had her kid in a stroller. We didn't see him. We don't know the exact details of it, but that's going to have to be a pretty big time jump to make them like a teenager. Now, one thing that scares me about that I really don't want is I really, really don't want, and you never know when it comes to studios, I don't want a Stranger Things-esque type teen story. If these kids are going to if her kids are going to be the future of the franchise, then this is all guesses or whatever right now. But if the reason they want them to be older is because they want them to take the franchise further, and that's why we're doing a trilogy and all this stuff like that, the only thing that I'm scared of is, I would hate for them to go the Stranger Things Ghostbusters Afterlife vibe and make Scream a super teen thing. And I know they're in high school in all the movies or whatever, right? But come on, man. When you look at Scream 1996, those kids look like they're about to graduate college. It never felt like we're watching little teeny boppers run around. They were immature and stuff, sure, but I don't want it to feel like the Scream TV series where like Emma's upstairs, crisscross applesauce in her room listening to sad songs and thinking about boys. That is the only thing that scares me, and that's just a deep, deep fear from inside of my cockles. And I don't think they'll do it, though. I'm going to be positive. I don't think that's what's going to happen here. We're not going to Ghostbusters Afterlife, want to be Stranger Things this thing up. Now, there's a way to do that and have it be good. I'm not saying that there's not. And again, focusing on high school kids is like the cream of the crop with Scream. That's the main thing of it. But even in Scream 5, they never felt like high school kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was believable enough, I guess, if you really stretched your stretchy pants. But it didn't feel like we were watching the Stranger Things kids. And I love the Stranger Things kids, but everyone's trying to do that. And it just doesn't work in most cases. Like, I didn't think it worked in Ghostbusters Afterlife either. But that's neither here nor there. That's my biggest fear when it comes to that. But also, one of the kids could be killed, and they don't want to have a super young child killed, which makes a lot of sense to me, which would really set up a trilogy as far as this goes. And on the other hand, what if these kids are really going to be the new face of the franchise? And if you want to get really freaky in the pants with it, what if one of these kids is the killer? Or both the kids are the killer? If you really want to just fuck up Sydney's life. Like, excuse me, ma'am, I think I'll have another. If you really want to just fuck her entire character's life up, you could have the kids be the killer. It's been family before, 100 times. So she is kind of cursed, it's wild shit. That would be wild. That would be mean as shit. But as well as if they have one of the kids died, it also will. Yeah, just crazy wild shit. But as far as the new location, it takes place at least partly in a new town. Not sure where. my mind immediately goes to Seattle because that's where she is with the kids and Mark, which, by the way, I find it really funny and weird that we're getting all this news about the kids and the extra characters and whatnot happening, and we still don't have McDreamy signed on to play Mark, or at least not an announcement of that. That kind of worries me a little bit, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine, Steven. We're going to be okay. It's going to be great. We're going to have a hot dog and we're going to chill out. But it's Labor Day and my grandpa just ate 7 fucking hot dogs. What's that from? Comment down below. But I'm imagining Seattle, which seeing Ghostface in Seattle is going to be cool. There's a lot of stuff they can do with the landscape and things like that, just like they did with New York in Scream 6. But I also want to still throw out my idea there for a possible road trip Scream movie. That sounds silly as shit. Smack my ass and call me Susan. But what I mean by that is, what if she takes the kids and Mark to escape, and they're trying to get away, go to a cabin somewhere, whatever the fuck. And on the way, the Ghostface just keeps following them, showing up at rest stops, showing up here and there. I think like a road trip Scream movie would be pretty inventive, especially for a franchise where you have a lot of people who their main drawback from it is, oh my god, a new trilogy and spin-offs and a TV series, which was in our last update. We could check out. I'll put it at the end of this video. But a lot of the negative stuff people say is, oh my god, how long can this go on? I'm so sorry if you guys can hear the creakiness. I need to get some WD-40 on my desk and fix that. And my chair, too. What the fuck? We're falling apart! Our pets' heads are falling off! Which I think is insane. When you're on number 11, 12 of the fucking Fast and Furious franchise, which is just Vin Diesel going family and then driving his car into space or off a cliff or some shit, or look at TV series and shit like Walking Dead. There's like over 50 fucking hours of, there's like 11 seasons of that shit. So there's hundreds of hours of programming for that. If that were a movie franchise, and I tweeted this the other day, you'd be watching like Walking Dead 54 right now. Breaking Bad, any TV shows that last 3 or 4 seasons are further along than where the Scream franchise is. So I really don't see any problem with that, especially again when we're getting another goddamn Transformers movie and there's a whole ass Bumblebee movie. With other franchises do it, but for some reason, I just disagree with that. Especially when every single movie in this franchise has had something to say for itself quality-wise. It's one of the better as a whole quality franchises out of all of them. This and Evil Dead are like right there near the top. So I really don't understand that. But anyways, this is the part where I talk about, and by the way, if you guys want this shirt, I will put a link down below. This Do Live shirt got the We Watched a Movie on the back. You'll look better in it than I do, I promise. But yeah, I'll put a link down below for that because that's where we're going with this. With the planned trilogy, are you shitting me on top of a bagel at a 7-Eleven? What? With hot sauce on it? I don't understand how the fuck. There's going to be so much speculation about this, right? Because if you're doing a whole trilogy, sure, you could just bring in new killers. You could have it be about the kids. You could focus on whoever your idea for a killer is. But doesn't it just, if there was a stew meter that like garnered the probability or not of them having Stu come back, when the writer of this movie, Guy Busick, was one of the people who, out of Radio Silence, who was more interested, at least it seemed like, in the idea of Stu coming back. He didn't poo-poo it completely. When you're doing a trilogy and you're setting up something that massive, does it not, did that probability meter, I won't go a lot, Barry. Did that probability meter not just go up a little tick? Did you not just feel something a little electric in your cock just now? Because I did. I'm very ADD right now. I just got done mowing the lawn, got a lot of shit going on, but had to talk about this because it really excites me because get it out, baby! It seems to me as though this is another hint towards the direction of Stu coming back. Because if you're going to do that, you got to do it up big, I think that this definitely lends credence to the fact that we could finally see a Scream. And again, to switch things up, like I mentioned earlier, I think this would be great. If you saw this Scream movie finally end, and instead of doing the whole, everybody calls it Scooby-Doo, I fucking love it, eat my butt. But instead of doing the whole reveal and motives and all that stuff like that we've come to expect with Scream movies, what if you expect that to happen? You expect to be shown the killer, and then all of a sudden, he wins. Like, he gets away, he or she wins and gets away, and the movie ends. And it just, like, really raises the stakes for the movie, because you're like, oh my god. Like, this is different, this is something we haven't seen before. He gets away, and it leaves you thinking between movies. Imagine all the talk about in the Scream fandoms. And I'm not saying I want to wait, but it could be pretty cool. Imagine all the talk between Scream 7 and Scream 8 Who do you think it is? I think it's this person, that person. Once you've met these characters and you've gotten into them for a movie, and then Ghostface wins. I'm not saying kills everybody, but obviously kills some folks, and then walks away, and then you're wondering who it is. Imagine the hype for Scream 8 going up right at that point. That's crazy, like, right? I think that could be pretty freaking neat. So, and again, with them announcing in our last update video, there's going to be a spin-off movie, more sequels. There's going to be a TV series. There's so many places if you inserted something crazy like a Stu storyline that you could go back and you could explain all of that in interesting fashion. So I'm just saying, fuck me, right? I know. But yeah, that's the Scream update today. A lot to think about, a lot to chew on. What are your thoughts down below? Hey, we did something pretty cool. It's an e-zine. I know some people probably never heard of that, but Scream's a 90s franchise, so maybe you have. I made an e-zine, and I'm going to start doing them like weekly or at least bi-weekly on Patreon every month. But it's free for you to read the magazine. I'll put a link to that down below as well. It's got the week's movie news. It's got fun ramblings. It's just cool, weird, strange shit. And I think you guys will dig it. You can download it for free whether you're a Patreon or not. And some Scream stuff in there as well. Just check it out and let me know what you guys think. I love your fucking faces. DX, suck it. I hope you guys have an amazing Memorial Day. And we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Hello, listener. Do you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie? Well, Jay and Mike like scary movies too. You should go and subscribe to their podcast, We Watched a Movie. Because if you don't, I'll gut you like a... Well, I think you get the idea. Enjoy yourselves while you still can.